Yo, what is up, everybody? We're back here with some Streets New Capenna draft, and we're just gonna jump right into it. So, the format's kind of, I'd say leveled off to some degree. People know that Brokers, Blue, White, Green, Bant is really, really darn good, but you're still gonna get a lot of drafts. I find that those colors are relatively open. I'm not trying to like avoid them or anything. And it's also not to the point where I think like red, which is red and green, which I think are some of the lesser colors, are like way open. People are still drafting those colors. So with that being said, I think I'm just gonna take Fleetfoot the Fishes. I think this is the best card in the pack aside from Fleetfoot Dancer, which is in a 3-color combination I'm not that big of a fan of, and also like it's just harder to I don't know. I find it harder to put that card in my deck based on the kind of decks I like to draft. Like I love the blue tempo decks. I think that the kind of like mid-rangey Naya kind of decks are not so good. The treasure decks, I'm not still into those. I was saying they've become a little bit or brokers / blue white decks have become a little bit more contested, but not to the point where I'm not going to take Sleep with the Fishes here. All right, and then we get to follow that up with a Crowbar. Crowbar is fantastic. I really love this card. It's probably it's kind of close. I think I was talking a little bit in my last draft video about this card compared to Raffine's Informant, the 2-drop that connives, and I'm actually still not exactly sure which one I like a little bit better. I think I would probably still take the Raffine's Informant. It just does so much in the format if we had that in the pack, but I do like the Crowbar here. Past that, there's a land. Can't go wrong with the land. Adjudicators, which is also fine. Like, it's kind of in the same tier as a land. But yeah, Crowbar is just awesome. All right, what do we have here? So now we get a Girder Goons is the best card in the pack. Just like in a vacuum. There's also Civil Servant. There's also Grizzly Sigil, which I like quite a bit. I think I probably just take the Civil Servant. It's sort of close, though. So I don't mind ending up in like the Obscura, Esprit kind of space. I think that's a pretty common place I end up if I'm not in a in a draft where Broker is just super open. Civil Servant is the less flexible card by a little bit because like you have to be green white base. I don't really want to be splashing this in like my blue white deck, so maybe I do just take Goons. I think Goons in a black deck is probably a bit better than this in a green white deck by like a small margin, and it is the more flexible card. So yeah, I'm actually gonna take the Goons here. All right, well, immediate regret as we get past another Civil Servant out of a pretty whatever pack. I mean, unlike Lucky Witness can be good in like a kind of Maestro-C, Grixis sacrifice deck. There's like For the Family, which is actually a really good card. I mean, it's not a card I'm going to take over Civil Servant, but this card I'm happy to play like 2, 3. Combat tricks are really, really good in this format. In fast formats, you tend to want combat tricks, so you can like you don't have to cast a 4-mana interaction spell on a problematic creature. You can kind of just line up a block and then use your pump spell. Or if you're on the front foot, just being able to go like, all right, like you have to block, and I have this 1-mana combat trick that I can cast and then cast another creature is really big. So I'm going to take the Servant here, but I'm keeping my eye on this. Maybe this wheels. All right, so nothing great here. I mean, I'm probably just going to take a land. There's both these family fixers, but these kind of two lesser ones. I think this card's fine. The Revelers, when you're like green-white, maybe you're splashing a red card. It does give you a Citizen, which is pretty impactful. Like 2 bodies in green-white does matter too, especially if you have the Overrun, the +2/+2 to your team, or +3/+3 if they're Citizens, or like you have any amount of equipment, like the Shovel. But I think the land's just going to be more flexible here. And I think it's going to be similar for this pick. So we've got a land here. We've got Rooftop Nuisance, which is a card I like if you have Sacrifice Fodder, and a card I don't like if you don't, which is just the same for all the casualty cards for the most part. So yeah, I'll just take the Plaza here. What the heck? Okay, so we're getting a 7th pick Inspiring Overseer for some reason. So it seems to me like this is one of those pods I was talking about that you do get good white cards coming to you. I was like, I saw this backup agent first. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of nice. Getting ready to talk about how this plays so well with Civil Servant. But I think we'll just be slamming this Inspiring Overseer. And I mean, hopefully this is just a sign of good things to come. Hopefully people, I guess the way I would put it would be, hopefully people in this pod don't value cards the same way I do. And I'm just going to get a bunch of these later. Then we get a Civil Servant number 2, though. Happy to take that. I do like that better than Groundbreaker. I like Groundbreaker in the green-white decks, but having a density of good 2s is a little bit more important. Like, the way I would put it is Groundbreaker is a good way to push damage on your already, good ground creatures, because in green-white, you have a lot of ground creatures and you need to find ways to push damage, but there's quite a few ways to push damage. There's the good combat tricks. There's quite a few good combat tricks. In fact, there's For the Family, like I mentioned. There's the +2/+2 Revelation of Power that gives lifelink and flying to a creature with a counter. So there's a lot of tools to push damage, but not a lot of premium 2-drops. So while I do think Shovel is a fine card, I can find, kind of analogs or replacements for cards that do that. I'm going to take Shieldmate. Shieldmate's a fine 4-drop. This is a card that I've been playing just happily. Honestly, it kind of reminds you of the Shield Breaker from from Crimson Vow. But it's a little bit different than that because it does block pretty well on turn 4 when it comes down. The Shield Breaker just didn't. And where this, like, your opponent really can't attack their 2 toughness creatures in. So, yeah, just a card I'm fine with, like, 2 or 3 copies of, honestly, in my 4-drop slot, if there's nothing better. That 4-drop slot does kind of fill up pretty quickly. All right, now I'm going to take Revelation of Power. I was just talking about the good tricks. You definitely want good tricks. There's also Halo Scarab, which is a card I've been playing a little bit more often than I would have expected. Like, you do just need 2 drops, and sometimes your deck needs the fixing. So it hasn't been an awful card, especially if you have ways to, like, discard it or self-mill it, stuff like that. We're just going to take the Sawjack here. So, pack 1, I'm pretty much positing myself as green-white, but that's not even true. I could still be blue-white. I could still be black-white. There's nothing really that pushes me to green-white. Like, my incentives for being green-white are that I have 2 green cards instead of, like, 1 blue card and 1 black card. So I could very easily pivot to whatever. Okay, so now we open a pack with Urabrask, which is a good card, a flashy card, but not a great card. It's especially not great because it is, again, kind of in one of the weaker colors. I think people look at this card and see it as, like, this awesome, amazing bomb, but it's just, like, you know, it's a fine card. It comes down, it's a 4/4 haste that sometimes it can get into combat, sometimes it can't. If it sticks around, it does some good things, but there's a lot of commons and uncommons I would take over this card. In an R spot, for sure, I'm just going to take Disciplined Duelist. So now we can kind of shift our kind of prior of where we think we're going in this draft, or kind of our assumption of where we think we're going. And now I'm probably looking to be green-white base. Like, this reinforces my green-white base, and then splashing this if I can. I've been talking a lot about this is a 3-color format, or sorry, 2-color format, not a 3-color format. But that is, the exception to that is, 1, you don't pick up enough good 2-color cards and you have to run a 3rd color. Or 2, you end up picking up cards like Disciplined Duelist, Broker's Ascendancy, just like the busted gold cards. And then you can kind of structure your mana a little bit. Pick up some fixing, make sure you can cast your busto cards. This one's interesting. So we could take just the Broker's Hideout. That's, like, pretty responsible to do, especially after taking the Duelist. We could also take the Irresponsible card and take the Pets. I think I'm just going to take the land here. Like, I really want to be able to cast this card. There's also the chance, if I'm framing this a little bit differently, that we end up blue-white base, and I would really prefer the Pets. And then we're just, like, Pets plus Sleep plus this as our splash instead of the blue is the splash. No, the green is the splash instead of the blue. And then maybe I should just take Pets. That's really close, actually. I'm actually unsure of that. I'm going to go with the conservative low upside line, but I might regret that as the draft goes on. Now we can take another blue-white duel, or we can take a Spar's Adjudicator, or we can take Storefront's just worse than Rafine's Tower. We could take the Adjudicator because it kind of does fix us for this. The Rafine's Tower would be fine too, but I think I probably want to lock in some just, like, beefy creatures here. It's also a citizen for what that matters, the Civil Servant. Yeah, kind of a close pick. I think I'm just gonna lock this in, but I'm not 100% sure. The thing that pushes me over to take a spell here rather than a land is because we've already kind of locked in, like, a few lands here. If maybe this was our first land, I would, but I do just like Spar's Adjudicator as a creature, so I'm fine just picking this up for a beatdown deck. All right, now we take Mage's Attendant. That's just an awesome card. One of the best uncommons. Creates 2 bodies. Unfortunately, not a citizen, but that's okay. Yeah, it's just going to be awesome here. We might even wheel this Groundbreaker or this backup agent. Both those would be great, but happy with the Attendant. Okay, so now we have Exotic Pets or Endless Detour, and Pets is a better card than Detour. Detour is okay. It's just like a fancy interaction spell. All these rares, there's like Endless Detour, Void Rend, I think there might be even one other. They're just like cool looking, but really they're not that much better than just any other interaction spell. This one does get a nod because it interacts with the stack or creatures in the battlefield. But I think I'm just going to take the Pets now at this point. It is fairly close, and there's also Hold for Ransom. I could take that. It's another really conservative card I could take here if I wanted to just, like, get deep into white. But I'm going to take the Pets as a slightly more powerful option. Okay, so now we have another decision. So there's shovels flying around the table. I don't feel like I need to take one here. Sky card would be decent in either deck, my blue-white deck or my green-white deck. There's also a Run Out of Town. I like this card quite a bit, although it is a card that I can generally get late in most pods. And assuming I'm getting it Inspiring Overseers late, I'm imagining I'm going to get this card late as well. Or, maybe not in this pack, but in the next pack, I'm going to pick up a copy or 2. So I think I'm just going to lock in a 2-drop as a citizen, and does play well with the shovel if we do get that back. The other shovel, that is. All right, now we get another Silver Servant. Metamorphosis is awesome. I really think this card is fantastic. Honestly, just a better card than Silver Servant by a little bit, but locking in 3 Silver Servants for a green and white base is nice. And now we transition to, before I was prioritizing the, nice, another Adjudicator. The good creatures. If I see like this pick again, Silver Servant versus Shovel, I'll probably take the Shovel at that point, because now I do have that creature base, and now I'm prioritizing something else for my deck. I'm prioritizing a different role at that point. I've already got the good creatures locked in. Now I want those ways to push damage. All right, Pit Fight is not a card I love, but we are splashing, and that does help there. I'm gonna move this fishes over here, by the way. I don't think we're gonna play that. And so one of the reasons this card is bad is because often your creature loses the fight, right? But with triple Silver Servant is an early 3 toughness creature, we're gonna lose the fight a lot less often. And also, this is a nice little combo, which is like gaining life on the pit fight. So I'm not saying we're gonna play this card for sure, but I played this card when I have Jewel Thieves, Silver Servants, any just beefy early creature is pushes me towards playing this card a little bit more often than I would. All right, now we take just like a Social Climber. Probably not gonna play it. Actually, I'm gonna take Gilded Pinions. Pinions is actually pretty decent in green white. Like I was saying, it's a way to push damage. It's not a great one because it doesn't increase power and toughness. I would really prefer that, but we might end up playing this. All right, now just whatever. There's Broken Wings. Oh, okay. Shovel comes back. That's a nice one. Hail Scarab, my boy Hail Scarab. Also, my boy Chrome Cat. I've been playing that a little more often than I was gonna say a little more often than I thought I would, but it's more like a little more often than I'd like to, honestly. Okay, well, I can't complain about a War Chief here. It must be nice to be a streamer, as I'm sure everybody in the in the comments is gonna be saying. There's also Lagrella the Magpie, but if I can take a good green card, I'm gonna take that over a good multicolor card here. I think these cards are close in power. War Chief is a little bit better, I would say. There's even if this was a little bit better than the War Chief, and we I think there's some temptation to say, well, I've got the fixing. Why don't you just take the 3-color card or the better card? And that's a question that comes up a lot in my chat. And it's like, when you're splashing, there's a temptation to be like, well, just play all of your good cards, right? But even when you've got some fixing, you've got 5 pieces of fixing here, you still want to limit the number of cards that are splash cards in your deck. You still don't want to play a bunch of blue cards when you're green-white base here. For example, I'm probably not going to play this Exotic Pets. I'm probably just going to play this Duelist and the Spars Adjudicator if I can help it. It really, I've been talking a lot in this format about just having clean mana, and part of that is just not putting more into your deck or putting more off-color cards into your deck than you have to. Here I'm just going to take Broker's Hideout. I like me a Decoy, but locking in that fixing is just a little bit too good. Good 3-drop, or so good 2-drop, but I'm just going to take in the fixing when I can. All right, now we just take a Cleanup Crew. Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of this one, especially when we've got some pretty good early game locked in. Like, I would be less into taking this. Maybe I would just take the land if we had a bunch of expensive stuff up here. But we've only got the War Chief, the Adjudicator, the Cleanup Crew, and also I should point out, these are the kind of cards these expensive cards that you want in your deck. The ones that come down and they catch you up. This gains you life. This locks down a creature. This gains you life. You really don't want your expensive creatures to come down and do nothing. They really have to have some impact on the board. All right, Backup Agent's great. It's good as Silver Servant. Comes down, puts a counter on it. You can tap it to, obviously pump the Silver Servant. So happy to take that. Another example, actually, of I think Windshield Agent is a slightly better card, but I don't want to add another blue card to the deck, right? I think that we just have a clean mana base going. I don't want to disrupt that at all. Okay, yeah, happy with another Backup Agent. That's pretty nice. It's also nice because with a Shovel, you can kind of make this sort of expendable body into something real. Like, it becomes a 3-power creature instead of a 1-power creature. So, also the Crowbar. We've got 2 pieces of equipment. Any, little value creature, the Mage's Attendant, does benefit quite a bit from the equipment. Another Backup Agent for the family or Skybridge Tower. So, that's kind of close. I don't think I'm going to take Backup Agent. I think it's between another Fixing Land and For the Family. And I think I'm on For the Family. I think it just... I was talking about how good this card is, just in general, in these green-white decks. And I think we just want one more way to push damage. Our quality creature is pretty locked in. But this is pretty nice. Also, a really nice combo with the Disciplined Duelist, or the Shovel, too, giving Trample. But if you've got... I've done this quite a few times, where you just go, Revelation of Power, target the Duelist For the Family, and that just almost kills them on the spot. Nothing here I care about too much. I guess there's Boon of Safety, but I like Boon of Safety more with flyers rather than ground creatures. I think Kill Shot is probably the card I'm more likely to play. I don't think I'm going to play anything here, honestly. But all right, so now we can take another blue-white land, or we can take the Backup Agent number 3. Yeah, I mean, it's closer at this point now. I think I'm just going to take backup agent number 3, though. Just make sure, like, we always have a 2-on-2 is pretty nice. With triple backup agent 2, that actually makes me want to play the fish a little bit more. You know, after going on and on about how, you know, you should have a clean mana base. But that is a really, really nice combo. Like, if you can have the 1/1 fish with no counters on them, that feels pretty good. And then when you ever do get a counter on it, you just feel like, you know, it's just like an insanely uphill battle for your opponent to win. So there's a chance after, you know, when we deck build that this does make the cut as our second blue card. All right, now we take whatever, Rafine's Guidance. Sunrise Hijack is, you know, whatever. It's an okay defensive card, but not a card I'm too excited about. I guess I took it over the Guidance, but Guidance is a card, actually I should talk about that. Guidance is a card that I've actually found to be fine if you have a lot of cheap connive creatures. Like, if you can pitch that early and it's kind of free, it's okay, but it's definitely not a card I'm just going to put in a random green-white aggro deck. The other tools we have to push damage are a lot better. A lot more effective at doing that. All right, I think here is our rough build. Splashing these 2 blue cards. And, you know, pseudo-splashing the Adjudicators, those kind of, you know, for our free-ish. Ooh, a Sawjack snuck in there. Do I like that? I guess it's fine enough with the double Silver Servant and the Groundbreaker. Yeah, it's probably better than anything in the board. Like, this deck doesn't want to kill shot. This, you know, I don't think any deck wants to buy your silence. I've got enough interaction that I feel like I don't need to play these. Like, Adjudicator counts, Prize Fight is fine enough. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to run it like this. And go down an island. We only need to play 1 island. And, yeah, I think we're just going to run it like that. Oh, I guess we need an additional land, eh? All right. Add a plains. We want to make sure we have an even amount of green and white on turn 2 to cast the Servant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or, sorry, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If you count some treasure too. All right, so 6, 7, 8, 9, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's like close enough. Okay, yeah, I think this is going to be our mana base, and yeah, let's chip it. All right, round 1 here. Pretty good opener. We got the Silver Servant. Oh, also, I didn't mention in the build, but I did feel like Exotic Pets, you know, it was good enough to make the cut there with all those backup agents, and, you know, the next best card we'd have to play would be much worse than the card. So that's actually another little point, right? When you want to think about when should I be splashing these cards, these, you know, card of a third color, and it's like when the next best card you could play is bad, and I think the next best card we could play would have been bad in our build here, so it's fine to play the pets. All right, nice little start here against the red-black aggro deck. Starting the game off of 23 is really quite good. And we're going to have a really good turn next turn as well. We're going to go, like, Exotic Pets, have these 2 for backup here. Yeah, this is fine. And I think now at this point, I'm just going to send for 4 instead of... So, like, I send for additional damage. I don't gain 3 life, but I think that's fine. I think our clock is fast enough that I don't need to worry about the life gain here. I suppose I also could have played Gilded Pinions, maybe, and then into Exotic Pets. But I kind of want to have, be able to play the pets and hold up this in case they have a Strangler or something. All right, yeah, we just take it, sure. No Blitzer here is really good for us. Forge Boss, okay, cool. So now we're going to do this, a little bit of this. All right, oh, that was an insanely good draw. Okay, so now we can go, we go backup agents, lifelink, or put a counter here, lifelink. I guess we could just put a counter on a fish too. Yeah, that works just as well. And am I going to want to use 2 tricks or have 2 tricks up? Probably not. So let's just go Pinions, backup agents. Yeah, put it here. This is also good because this also just like incentivizes them into blocking my lifelink creature. I guess not the you know, they can block the 2, 3, but they are still incented to block the lifelink creature because it steals 3, not 2. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, okay, sure. I was gonna say I can just set up lethal next turn, but I think we're head on board enough that we'll find a way through lethal. These Pinions are going to be good enough, and the pump spell. It has to be really hard for them to come back here unless they have a Wrath. They could have Corpse Explosion, but probably don't if they have Gold Hand. All right, and that's the game. Yep, just like we drew it up. Just like we drew it up. Alrighty, into round 2 here. Yeah, it's a good hand. Got the Skycryer into attendance. Opinions. Body Dropper. All right. Well, I like our matchup here against. Why don't you just play this? Burn the treasure. No, I'll just play Mage's Tendon. I like our matchup against a red black aggro deck because we've just got like a decent amount of ways to clog up the board, decent amount of ways to gain life. Our creatures generally outsize theirs once we get up the curve a little bit. All right, man, draw. That's a good, yeah, it's a good draw here. I don't want to block. It grows the Body Dropper. Ooh, and a Witness. Okay, okay. Yeah, it's a good turn for them. Land would be nice. Land, please. All right, well. As always, I should have been more specific here. So if I bash, they take 3. This comes back at us for 3. I think that's okay. We're going to be playing Skycryer here. It's not like I can block anyways, really, because then I have to double block, and I don't really want to lose both these things. I don't really want a 2 for 2, and they get a card back. So yeah, I think we're just. It's not quite a forced attack, but I don't think we should try to block here. That's actually a pretty big picture point in general for this format. Ooh, this is a close 2. I think because I have my blue source, I'm just gonna jam the Shieldmate instead of the Skycryer. Because this format is so much about racing, I think you should generally not try to block. I know it's like very broad and very maybe I don't want to say never block, but given the choice, a little jiggle going on there. Given the choice between attacking and blocking, I think you should attack more often than not. Like, it's very easy to be like, okay, well, they're an aggressive deck. I should block here. All right, that's pretty good for them too. I should block here because I don't want to get beaten down. But the thing is, if you attack and you just pressure your opponent's life total, number one, that makes it a lot harder. Like, he doesn't give them wiggle room, right? Because if the aggro deck is at 17 and they get to just do whatever, that gives them a lot of, yeah, like I say, I would describe it as wiggle room, where they're like, okay, they can attack me on the crackback. I don't really care. I'm attacking everything. I'm not worried about dying on the crackback. But if they're at like 10 or something, they can't do that freely. But also there's like just often a lot of cards in this format, like pump spells, that just help you when you're ahead, when you've already pushed damage. Like, I'm not saying this for every single deck, right? I'm just saying when you're a deck capable of a beatdown. But yeah, if it's ever a close call, I would say attack and, attack rather than block. Okay, so here I'm going to just bash, I think, with everything. They might block here, and that's okay. Or everything minus this. Oh, I should have attacked. This is bad. I should have played the Skycryer first. As I was talking, I forgot to play the Skycryer. Yeah. So, now do I 2 for 2 now I've made a mistake? Because we could have had a really nice attack here. I think I 2 for 2 now that I've made a mistake, unfortunately. I don't think I can afford to just, like, lose my creature. Yeah, so it's not great, but it's also not too bad. They hit Magician and a Gold Hound. Okay, play Skycryer. And they play an Outlook. Ooh, they have green cards in their deck. Fancy. All right, they play Magician. I'll make a 1/1. Okay. 'Tis fine, especially because we have a 4/4 coming down here. Ooh, Civil Servant's not bad. So I could Civil Servant and put the wings on the Shieldmate, or I could just play a 4/4. It's probably a little better just to play a 4/4, right? Get in with the Shieldmate anyways, because if they want to block, it's a chump. I'll leave this back, I think. So the reason to leave this back is if they have an interaction spell for this, I'm going to be taking 2 additional points here. Yeah, it's like slightly conservative, but I think it's fine here. Yeah, especially because we have this Civil Servant, like, being able to give ourselves time to leverage this lifelink on the pinions is pretty nice. All right. I'm worried about Ziatora. All right. They have Ziatora. The game gets a lot harder from here, chat. Or YouTube, I should say. We're not on Twitch. This ain't chat. All right. I don't actually think we have too much that can deal with this. And we don't have them at a low enough life total here where we can, like, pressure them. That's kind of interesting. Okay, let's try to do this then. They're not going to block, I imagine. But if they do, we have some way out of this, maybe. Oh, there's no way this works. Like, it's damned if we do, damned if we don't. Because it's, like, both, like, okay, there's no way this works. But also if they, or it's like, there's no way they block. But also if they do block, there's no way this works, right? So, oh. Oh, dear, opponents. I don't know if they saw this. All right. So maybe it does work, chat. Maybe we mize our way out of this situation. I don't like our position still because they got 3 cards in hand. We have 1, but it's definitely better than having Zeatora on the battlefield. Grizzly Sigil? Sure. You got it. Plasma Jockey. All right, Plasma Jockey's not so bad if we draw a another creature here. Like to start lifelinking the Civil Servant. It is bad if we don't, though. All right, we're kind of at parity-ish. They're definitely a little bit ahead. But 1 good draw from us. That's all it takes. Okay, that one's not so bad. All right, big draw here. They're out of gas. They do have the 2 sack lands here, but out of gas for the most part. Prize fights. What do? You kill Riveteer's Initiate. Keeps us alive. I don't think we're supposed to kill Plasma Jockey here. Alright, so kill this. Get in. We can crack this. If we can draw like our War Chief doesn't do it, I guess. The 5/3 gain 3 because they're gonna put us to 2 here. Ooh, Agnes. All right. GG's. Let's see if they attack. I guess we can give them the option of messing up, I suppose. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. GG's. Zeatora has been quite the pain in my butt for anybody who watched the Limited Resources / Lords Limited Showdown this week. Okay, well, nothing cheap, but a lot of good things that catch us up, so we're going to keep this. And we have just like a lot of cheap cards in our deck, so it's not unlikely that we just draw one of our 2s. Leading on land here, fetch land instead of tap land, like it's a very small thing, but I would prefer to draw, like I need my 5th land here, obviously, but I would prefer to draw Spell over land. It's like an extremely small edge, but you know, just my thinking here. Ooh, fish ain't bad. Okay, fish ain't bad at all. Ooh, servant to servant. Okay. So the fishies do not block this very well, unfortunately. I'm gonna play Civil Servant though, or we just play fishies and then keep up Rev of power plus this. Yeah, that's probably a little bit better. All right, take it. All right, that one's fine. It's curious they didn't cast this pre-combat though, to get some more damage. Okay, that's nice. Now we get to cast our Busto cards in a timely fashion. So there's actually some consideration to if, like, when they attack here, to going Revelation of Power. Because if they want to... They've only got 4 cards in hand. If they want to use some sort of interaction spell here, that's okay. That means that they're not messing with these cards. Also the thought that I could Adjudicator and gain some life here. Like, I could have a Citizen come down next turn, but I think I'm just going to be casting the War Chief next turn. Okay, so yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to go for it. They also might be induced into casting a trick first. Okay, so now we just do this and we 2 for 2. I trade my trick for your trick. That's a fine exchange. Especially because now we can gain some life back on the Civil Servant at some point. And they have like another trick here or another interaction spell, like happy that they use it here, you know? Yeah, great. I'm very I'm pleased as punch, as they say. Nobody really says that. All right, let's just cast this. Comes down, bricks their stuff, get in there. Nobody says that unless they're from the 1950s. Just Alex using boomer lingo over here. Pinions. They know the tech? All right, I actually might be destroying this pinions with my cleanup crew. Ooh, pit fight. It's kind of spicy too. Kind of spicy too. All right, destroy the artifact. I think we bash all. It's not. There's not that many cards that will that they can get this out of the way in this color combination. Like there's a few white things, but green and red have a really tough time dealing with 6/6. Well, there's Adjudicator. I gotta say, I was not expecting Spar's Adjudicator. So, yeah, we're like, I wouldn't say we're in trouble, but we are not, it's a tense game. Tense game for sure. Okay, so they're gaining life instead of doing max damage here, which makes sense. All right, fight spell's nice. So let's go Adjudicator. We have the fight spell up. You can't attack, and let's get in with you guys. Yeah, I'm just gonna chill here. Don't need to use the fight spell now. We have good enough blocks. Shield mate, yep. It's okay. Crowbar. That's kind of nice. So I can go Crowbar on a fish, and then we have a 3-turn clock. We've got, and we still keep up the pit fight, and we have a 1/1 as well. Yeah, I think that's just fine enough. I could send with a cleanup crew, and then like, what do? They probably just block with Dapper Shield Mate and trade shield counter for 6 life. So I think it's not great to do that. I think we just want to go put it on the fishy. Get with the fishy. There's not really too many ways they can get us here. I guess a Revelation of Power on the Dapper Shield Mate would be bad. We would just lose the game on the spot. But past that, I don't think there's too much. Oh, that's annoying, actually, because that's a new card, and it does present so much out of a clock. Okay. Okay, so... Okay, that was really good. If they're at... Okay, so next turn what we can do, we can actually do something cool where... Because this tramples, we can kill the creature they block with and trample over for lethal. But we're just going to start by casting this for sure. I know it's actually pretty good too because it's an additional point of life. All right. Mage's Attendant. All right. All right, so we draw a Duelist. That's kind of interesting too. So yeah, I could go for that play. Like, if they don't block with a... If they block with a Shield Mate, which they're not going to do, I assume. I think they're probably going to put Spark. They might just, like, block everything on this, though. I think that's probably true. Like, I can't attack with enough things to make them, like, not be able to put a bunch of stuff on this. So I think we just go for the safer line and just send the fishies. Especially with another blocker here. Warm welcome. All right. Their last hurrah here. Oh, I should have maybe put the crowbar somewhere else so they could activate. Yeah, that's probably was smart. I don't think it's going to matter that much, but just small edge. Counting my creatures, counting their creatures. They might have to send in the Silver Servants here. Alright, Jewel Thief. Yeah, they bash all. So we just need to make our creatures survive. Oh, but they don't have any citizens here. Okay, so we just make obvious blocks then, right? I guess like the charm, the Cabaret charm would do us in here. But I can't do too much about that. All right, so this should be fine. Yeah, we want to block the shield mate so that if we need to use pit fight or prize fight, then it's not, you know, we don't target the shield thing. I think this is fine. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I can, like, we win on the crackback easily. They're dealing us 4 damage here? Yeah, sure. All right, there we go. Save this until the very last moments. Doing the last chance. Will you counter the force spike even though the opponent has a bunch of mana? All right. Sweet. And yeah, just easy lethal in the crack back here. All right, cool. It's a cool game. Ooh. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oof. All right, well, we are Civil Servant flooded. I guess being Civil Servant flooded is not a bad thing, though. All right. So we're going to go Servant to Servant. Servant into Dual Land, probably. Or to Duelist, sorry. Briefcase. Okay, okay. Ooh, wow. That was very lucky. Now we don't even need to cast this delayed. All right, I like this start. I like this start. I don't mind the opponent playing that. So let's go. Okay, pit fight or prize fight. Does that change anything? So we attack. We trade Civil Servant for Sawjack. I think that's fine. Yeah, that's okay. We've just got a million of these things in hand, so let's just bash here. It has a voice of the vermin. Okay. Yeah, it's not so bad. It's not so bad for us. All right, so now we can go. We can't double spell here unless we use the pit fight or the prize fight. I always call this pit fight because there was another version of this card that was very similar. Didn't make treasure and it was called pit fight. So we can attack and we trade like first strike goes through. I always mess up how double shields work with first strike. So we attack, they block here. The shields get knocked off, and then no, wait. It does first strike damage, their shield gets knocked off, and then normal strike damage, my shield gets knocked off. So do I trade? It would be a decent attack here. So yeah, let's get in. Let's do that. All right. I held my breath for half a second there. I was like, wait, is that actually how that works? Because I was really ready for that duelist just to hit the bin. All right, I'll spin this. And I don't think I need to keep up the prize fight here. We're just going to go get a white source. Echo Inspector. All right, it's not bad. Ooh, they pitch a cleanup crew. Okay, so their hand must be very good. Or like have a 5-drop in hand they really want. Pinions, eh? Okay, so we can go this, Civil Servants, and we just dump our hand here. Seems decent. We could also get this in, trade here. That seems not so great. Okay, let's just dump the hand. The Echo Inspector's holding us back pretty well. But there's some thought to like saying, okay, we trade here, and then my Civil Servants can start getting in. But I think with them pitching this, that probably means they have some good expensive cards in hand. And I'm not willing to trade a good creature for, to get over their road bump here, when they're probably just going to be able to cast something next turn that, allows them to... I'll just pass here. Allows them to brick these Civil Servants anyways. Like, I think it's very likely they just have like a Spar's Adjudicator in hand or something. So I don't really want to make this trade here. It just doesn't accomplish too much. All right, I think I just pass here. Might be activating Skycrier. Then I'm kind of sore. All right, that one's fine. We'd like to have some sort of interaction spell. Rooftop Nuisance. All right, that's okay too. It's mostly a draw 2 for them. That's why they wanted to cast it, I guess. It doesn't do too much on board here. It just gets their Inspector in. Okay, and I am going to draw here, like, especially after they've cast a draw 2. I am going to draw here because, like, I'm a little bit out of action. A card for me is worth more than a card for them. That was a good draw. So now I could, like, prize fight this and then Spar's Adjudicator this thing. And then we get it in for 5. Yeah, that's likely worth it. Oh, I guess they don't even need to prize fight this thing. So we just Adjudicators these get in naturally. Okay, never mind. No fighting. We're not going to do that. Doesn't make any sense. All right, dual land's nice. I could kill this. Oh, no, I can't. I have to do this first. I was thinking I have additional mana. That's not true. All right, so we cast this. Lock down the Sawjack. Get in for some lifelink. I suppose they could have a For the Family here with their treasure up. Okay, none of that. Rocks Pummeler. That's not a bad one. Yeah, it's solid. All right, they are being defensive. I like it. All right, so what do we do now? They've got 2 blockers in the air. So suiting up our Spar's Adjudicator doesn't do too much. Oh, wait, yes it does. Because they're going to be priced, or not priced into, but want to double block. I guess we can set that up next turn, right? Yeah, because we can go, like, if we put it here, they don't have a clean single block. And we can use the pit fight, or the prize fight. One of these days, I'll stop calling it pit fight, I swear. All right, well, I'll just cast this, and I think gain 4. I could destroy the briefcase. I wonder if we're at a high enough level that we just want to, or a high life total that killing the briefcase means more in this game, because it means they can't, like, double spell next turn, or they, maybe they've got another card of a different color that they can't cast. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think that's probably next leveling myself, so I'm just going to gain 4, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do cast some off-color card here. Okay, Adjudicator's fine. All right, I'm just going to block with Skycrier, I think. I guess Skycrier digs us to action. I could also just take 6. Yeah, that's a good plan. I like that plan. Taking 6 is fine. We'll see what we draw. We don't need to block just yet. All right. You go here. We attack. Talk about anything else? No. Oh, that's right. They don't need to double block. I always forget this makes big. It gets big. All right, this is fine. We still have to clean up crew. It's actually not a big deal. Okay, so the Pummeler comes in a second time. Now I probably want to... So I could, like, take the shield off, right, with the Duelist, and then Duelist plus something else would kill this. Like, I could double block here. I don't love that. Yeah, I think I'm just going to chill still, because, like, I'm not going to want to trade this thing. I think taking 6 a few more times is probably fine. It just means that any interaction spell or pump spell just is so much better for us. Just get to leverage it so much better. And I do want this guy cry around for a turn or two, I think. All right, try a card. All right, nothing there, eh? All right, we'll just get in with the cleanup crew. Ooh, pump spell? We're gonna get him? Nice. Okay, cool. Boom. All right, that felt pretty good. Play our land. Again, we're like increasingly getting to the point where we probably do need to block this pummeler. I'm just being stubborn and refusing. All right, Overseer. Yeah, it's whatever. All right, they don't have a land. Routier Decoy. That doesn't do that much because we have the Duelist, luckily. All right, let's draw cards, see what we draw. Oops. Fishies. Fishies is good. All right, so all their things have Death Touch, which it's not that big of a deal. We block here. We block here. Yeah, I think this is fine. Cast the Fishies. Ooh, Shovel. Shovel's a really, really good draw. So now we Shovel and equip my Citizen. Thank you very much. Yep. Let's get in. Get in. And I could even bash with this. I think I shall. Because we're going to get in for 5 lifelink here. We're going back into 15. They're going to attack us back for 10, 15. So they do have to block, though, right? They can't just take this all. I guess it's like probably worth. Maybe I could leave back 1 fish. No, that's not great. Let's see. So they go 15. If they just chump with this, they're gonna have 12. They win with like another pump spell, but they'd have to have. There's no +3 pump spell. I think I like getting a little bit aggressive here. I think this is fine because we're pushing a lot of damage here. So yeah, I think this is just fine. Cool. Okay. And now that puts us in position and we're just like not in danger of dying on the crackback if they're trading both their creatures there. Alrighty, well. Here you go, opponent. Just Citizen? No. You'd think I know this by now. Alright, let's see what you got. Nothing? Alright, nothing. Sweet. Alright, GG's. GG's. Alright, well, we've got some good cards in our hand, so let's keep it. Also have the Skycrier into back of agent, which is pretty nice. Let's do that. Oh, actually, out of note, I didn't play the Broker Side this turn, or this time. I played my tap land because I did want to draw land 5 because it got War Chief. We only had 3 lands in the opening hand. Okay, let's get in there. If they've got, like, Make Disappear here for our Inspiring Overseer, like, sure, that's fine. Annoying, but fine. Snoop. All right, that does not Make Disappear. They discard Metamorphosis, so that means they have some other flyer or some way to deal with these flyers. Yeah, Metropolis Angel. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I think Metropolis Angel is not a great card in general. I think it's just like a little bit too small. Like it was, it's good for them there. They drew a card and such, but I'm not too shook up over it. All right, let's just go here. Like I'm just gonna let them draw another card, you know, if they really want. We're bashing them for a bunch. We've got For the Family in hand. I'm not going to, like, try at all costs to stop their Snoop from attacking or anything. Echo Inspector. All right, that's an annoyance for sure, especially if they make this a 3/4. Yeah. Okay. So now we go land, and I guess I could just Adjudicator. Yeah, that's probably smart to do. If they want to draw a card this turn, they now have to attack with the Echo Inspector. So we'll just get in. The Workshop Worksheet is nice for sure, but we're mostly in push damage mode, especially after they've drawn a bunch of cards and we have Shovel and a Pump Spell in hand. Like, I'm not really trying to play the value game right now. Ooh, well. All right, well, that's pretty good. Gotta say, that was a good turn. Pinions. Pinions doesn't help that much here. Okay, so what do? We can cast the Backup Agent. Or just the War Chief. I guess the War Chief is probably a little bit better. We can actually get our creatures out of range of like, needing to... Like, we can start to equip this, and I guess they have a free block there, but if we put the counter on it, they don't. All right, so let's get War Chief down, and I think this game is not too far lost, which is a miracle. it's a blessing to say after they played a Sanctuary Warden. But we've got a decent number of ways to push damage here. Get the For the Family and the Groundbreaker, and it does suck that now they probably have an interaction spell in hand, and they can just keep up mana forever at this point. But, you know, we can also have fish, unblockable fish and such. We also have a lot of time, right? We're at 30 life. They're not really, I mean, they can turn the corner quickly, but that requires them to turn their creature sideways. Hold for ransom. Yeah, that's okay. Yep, get in there. Blocks. Do we have anything that can cleanly get rid of this? I don't think so, right? No, we don't have like a hold for ransom or anything. Okay. So what do we do now? What do we do now? I think we can. So we can Backup Ancient and Groundbreaker, and they can double block, and it still forces like they lose a shield counter here, and then this dies, or trades for this the Crier unless we For the Family. That's not ideal. It's not ideal. Okay, well, let's just see what they do. Because I'm not opposed to using For the Family here. Again, it does push a lot of damage. There's also just like a weird world where they take it or block with Snoop or something. Yeah, this is the block that makes no sense. There's a chance I should have actually just attacked with the Overseer to incentivize them to blocking that with the Sky Crier. But it wouldn't be lethal still because they gain life, so I think this is probably still best. Ooh, they have like out of the way. It's so catastrophic. Make disappear sacking. All right, good beats, good beats. It's fine. We still get to trade with this and take a shield counter off. Yeah, cannot do that. All right. Let's go equip here. All right, play Pinions. I guess it doesn't matter too much. Play Pinions, equip to this thing. Pass turn. Ooh, they cycle here. Okay. It's a good sign for us. I don't mind that. All right. They look like they're like relatively out of action now. And again, with our life total being so high, it's not like we don't have a lot of time to draw into our fish or whatever. Well, maybe I spoke too soon. Maybe not quite out of action. Okay, okay. The agent gets in the car. Yep. Also, this is really good against our fish, too, eh? Okay, so I can attack with the War Chief, push a decent amount of damage, and force them to take a shield counter. Oh, no, I can't do that because I can't. This isn't a citizen, right? Yeah. Foolish. How foolish of me to not know this one wasn't a citizen. It's a warrior. Okay, so I think instead I sack the tower. Yeah, sack tower here, see if we can draw anything. But the thing is, if we sack tower, then we don't have our blue source for our pets or our duelist. Yeah, that's pretty tough. So we could trade War Chief for a counter here. That's actually probably worth it. Because then we get a 4/4. Yeah, get in there. Yep. And the 4/4 can get trample. His turn. Strong arm. All right, that's good. Yeah. Means that they can bash here. And now they'd use our to turn the corner pretty quickly. Oh, are they just going all in? 2-turn clock here. Kill my token. Get back my... Oh, right. I actually forgot about this. I forgot about this when I made that attack. Yeah, I don't like it as much anymore, but at least I get my backup agent back. Small victories. Yeah. This wasn't that good to trade off there, because spending 4 mana there, I should have probably just sacked my land. Didn't make a ton of sense to do what I did. Okay, so now we do it on here, and then maybe if we draw Spar's Adjudicator, we can like peck in for a few points. Yes, it's fine. Okay, nothing there. So now we do have to sack this. And lessen the chance that we draw into a card that actually we can cast. Yeah, not so great. Not so great. Okay, let's go here. I also maybe could have put the counter on the backup agent. And then we do this kind of thing. And then we also could have flown so that this is a forced trade here. Because now they can just like... I guess they don't have a good double block, but they could double block here. Just prevent some damage. Metamorph? Alright, yeah. Pretty rough. I guess I also could have just put the counter here and then put the shovel there. That would have made some sense too. Alright, am I going to pack it in? Yeah, I think I'm going to pack it in. I think it was just a few too many good things lining up for them there. Like, without the limo, I think we have a pretty good fighting chance in that game. But with it, yeah, it's a little bit too much. Alright, in the next round, let's not face a Warden or a limo this game. That's all I'm asking. Alright, yeah, let's play the Attendant. Disappear. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Alright, that's fine. Annoying, but fine. Initiate. Alright. Ooh. Well, at least they didn't counter this one. Nice. Okay. Yeah, opponent ends. Cast another initiate. Alright. Fair enough. Fair enough. Ooh. That's a really good one. Okay, so now we're like... I was considering blocking with this Sawjack, which I would, would be unfortunate, because I don't really want to trade, but I would need to against a bunch of 3-power creatures. But now we draw the Syllable Servant, and it's like, fine, because we're going to gain a bunch of life back. Also, just like we have Cleanup Crew coming. So, blocking against these is not that necessary. Ooh, Citizen as well. Girdergoons? Yeah, this is fine. So we take 3, 6, 10. That's a lot of damage, but we're going to gain a lot back here. Okay. Crew. Gain the 4. Get in. I guess I could tap this and have this back as a blocker. Yeah, that is probably necessary here, yeah. It's probably a bit too ambitious to trade 2 more damage for not having this back as a blocker. Court Official. Alright. Probably just pitch the Skycrier. I'd like to keep that around, but I think For the Family is just a little bit better here. Well, doesn't matter. Didn't matter. I wonder if they push here. They don't. Okay. So we can push with this to gain 3 life. I don't love that because I have a pretty easy trade here. Oh, that's not sure if we put the counter on, though. But I think I want to put the counter on the Inspiring Overseer. If we put the counter on here, they're forced into a double block, though. And it has to be with the initiate, which means that the cleanup crew can't trade. They can't trade with the cleanup crew unless they put everything in front of it. Okay, so let's go for a little bit of diversification of threats here, then. I think that's probably fine. Yeah, like this. Yeah, let's end this too. We're at 15. At this point, it's fine. Okay, yeah. Fairly happy with this trade. Obviously, not knowing the contents of their hands, but we'll see. If this game goes longer, the initiates in the grave are kind of a problem, but... Okay, nothing so far. Ooh, shovel. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, shovel's been really good in this deck. With all the backup agents. Alright, jam. What do you got, opponent? Do you look on bad? Sure. Seraph. Okay, so they can cast the Seraph next turn. But that's not that big of a deal. Also, they can't... this has to be a land, too. Yeah, let's go here. Because they still have a lot of damage coming over. Like, if they just cast Seraph, they go to 5. And they still have to block both things. Like, they have to... yeah, just draw, so that means they're... Yeah, okay, never mind. We're probably good here. Not necessarily, I suppose, if they have, like, a... Yeah, Grizzly... I was just gonna say Grizzly Sigil, but that's still fine, because this gets trampled. Okay, cool. Next game. No Angels or Limbos this time. Alright, let's go. Ooh, pretty good hand, too. We've had a lot of good hands. And that tends to happen when you put a lot of good cards in your deck. This is an interesting spot, too, because we might not play the Broker Sighted on turn 1. Because it doesn't... Okay, so it would stop us from playing Sawjack on turn 3 if we don't have another land, untapped land. But that's not, like, of utmost importance. And we do really want to make sure we have double green. That is not unlikely, right? And we could just go get the double green if we don't draw it after. But if we do draw a blue card, we're going to want the blue off this. So it's actually kind of close. I think I'm going to not play the land. Yeah, I think I'm just going to wait here. All right, prize fight makes it a little bit more likely that I just go get a green source here. Because we can, get the blue off that. Ooh, shovel. All right, so it did hurt us a little bit here. We can't play a shovel, and we can't play a Sawjack, but it's all good. Where's that? All right. Ooh, some spice. Was not expecting a forest. Ooh, shakedown heavy. Yeah, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. Okay, so now we play Mage's Attendant, and we're probably just going to take some beats from this thing. 6 is a lot, but I don't think I want this being able to block, and we've got a lot of life gain in hand, so it's probably fine here. Interesting. Okay, so playing this Nightclubber. All right, slightly annoying. Yep. Draw a card, decline. Nope. We could also just, like, line up a block at some point on this thing. Like, it's not the biggest deal. Land would be good here. Adjudicators isn't a land. Like, double blocking, I think, is a little too risky. So what do we do? Can't take 6 forever. That's for sure. We could play the Sawjack, just bash them for 5. Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. Get in there. One of the things about green-white I found compared to, like, decline? No, I think we need to give ourselves some time here. One of the things about green-white compared to, say, blue-white I found is that it has a little bit of a tougher time dealing with bombs. Like, your interaction suite's not that good, and you can't just, like, fly over them. Okay, so now we go this, and we have a pretty bad double block here. Like, we have to give up, I mean, we can just double block here, but then, obviously, if any interaction makes that not good for us. So, yeah, I'll just play the Groundbreaker, pass turn. Like, for example, instead of needing to push damage with, like, you know, my saw here or my shovel, we just, like, try to be flying over them. I think I'm gonna go for the double block this turn, because then I can just equip here. They have a 4/5 coming down, though. Alright, I think we have to go for the double block on the goons. Is that true, though? How do we maneuver our way out of this? So we make them draw a card, or we let them draw a card. That seems like kind of a nightmare. We go for a double block. They have an interaction spell. We take 6. Their goon survives. We probably just lose on the spot there. Go for a double block here. Pretty similar situation, except we lose less life. But also they still have their board here. What's the situation? I guess the situation where we win is like we let them draw some cards and they don't draw anything that impactful, which is kind of a pipe dream. I think I have to take the action though, yeah. And then double block. And at least if we double block here and something happens, I'm actually just going to do this because triple block's pretty safe. Even though they get a better block here, it's pretty likely that their creature dies. It means that they can't play their 6-drop this turn. If they have Fake Your Own Death, this is pretty bad, but... Alright, we got a slight favorable exchange there. Oh, wait, they killed... Huh. Night Clever, gotcha, okay. Makes sense, makes sense. Alright, tap land. Wasn't exactly what we wanted. Prize Fight doesn't do too much here. We can, like, Prize Fight as a Bone Splinters. And then... Cast the War Chief next turn. That's not so great. We can equip the Crowbar. We can't equip this, unfortunately, for 1 mana. So I think we just have to... We're just resigned saying, yeah, this thing gets in once... Or lets them draw a card again. And then this hopefully blocks these. Snoop, okay. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Parcel. Okay, that's pretty bad. So we take 4 here. Shake down. We have to untap again. If we can draw a land, though, we're not in, like, the worst shape. Yeah, take that action. Because we're going to gain 3. Have a good blocker. That's okay, too. Yeah, that's actually not too bad, either. I'm going to keep up the prize fight this turn. Okay. Decoy. Huh. Okay. Still works out okay for us. Yeah, resolve. Take action. Obviously would have liked this to not go this way, but we get to make our treasure. We take 2. Kasalaki. Alright, land. So now we can play the cleanup crew and gain 4. And then next turn we can go War Chief. Equip the Groundbreaker if we draw land. This keeps that back. This gains a little bit more life. They could have Make Disappear up, but we can't really do anything about that. We can also Spar's Adjudicator. Doesn't do anything in particular. And this actually, like, clocks them pretty hard. Like, hits them pretty heavily on the crackback, so... Oh, what's the artifact? Oh, my artifact. No, I was like, oh, do they have an artifact? No, 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 I don't want to do that. Because if we just go like, okay, you can draw a card, and then I equip the Groundbreaker, attack you, play War Chief. If we draw the land. Ooh, Dusky. Okay, that's probably game over. Yeah, all right, fair enough. Fair enough. I will concede to you there, opponent. I will concede to you there. All right, so I mean, not so bad. This deck did pretty well, 5-3. Pretty decent for a deck with, you know, no rares in it and, you know, just only a few good uncommons. Just like a solid... Oh, sorry, it does have a rare. My bad, it does have a good rare. I do not want to count out the War Chief, but I think mostly we lost to some pretty good rares, some pretty busto rares, and missing our land drops a few times. It wasn't like you know, I think the deck was great. I would happily... If I could, you know, draft again or play this deck again, which, like, just take a gamble on which deck would be better, probably this deck over a random deck. So I actually really like this deck. Had a lot of good things going on here. The Civil Servants X2 or X3 was great. Made it, we had those consistently. The backup agents were good. The shovel, showing from the shovel in this deck, I think, was really quite good. And yeah, the fixing was fine, right? We had some considerations where we were like, okay, well, we can't push here, or we can't cast this spell here because we need to make sure we have blue mana for our cards later. But for the most part, it worked out fine. So yeah, I like the deck. I hope you did too. If you liked, of course, leave a comment, subscribe, leave a like, all that. And yeah, look forward to more draft videos for this format in the coming days. All right, see you later.